Someone I know recently asked me what the most trash Pokemon is, and I said it was highly subjective, depending on how you ask the question, bad design, stats, fan reception, and who is answering it. No matter what, it is a very subjective question and answer. I know you, viewer, have the Pokemon you hate the most, and that's fine, but so does that other girl over there, and I do too. And there's no way we all hate the same Pokemon the most that other guy in the comments does. If you answered the question literally, it would be Trubbish, the sentient garbage sack that many boomers decried as a falling off of design and the franchise getting substantially worse. Or rotting, you might even say. But here's the thing. Lots of people like Trubbish, including me. I like Garbodor even more. I think they're great Pokemon. Sentient waste and poison is a cornerstone of Pokemon design, and Trubbish and Garbodor are unfairly singled out. But that's not necessarily the point of the video. The question got me thinking a bit more. Is there a universally despised Pokemon, one that we all look at and say, yep, that's the worst one? I didn't think so initially, and I thought so mostly because of scale. Pokemon's audience is just too massive for the multiple millions of players to agree on anything, really. There are so many contrasting views and opinions on Pokemon to come down and say that there is a widely accepted and undisputed worst Pokemon. You have Gen 1ers who only accept Generation 1 as truly good, and everything else is trash. There's also people who stopped playing 3 to 4 gens ago and are now frightened and confused by new Pokemon, and others who are just going to end up liking things that most people don't. I once heard someone say that Goldeen was their favourite Pokemon, and that truly shocked me. Goldeen is nothing. But some Pokemon do get ridiculed more than others, I thought, so maybe there is a Pokemon that is genuinely universally despised. It's always worth testing an assumption to see if it holds up, so I did some googling around to see what might be out there. I threw out questions like, does anyone like blank Pokemon? And blank is the worst Pokemon, just to see whether I could find positive defenses for some of these less popular Pokemon. I tried an obvious one first, Zubat. Zubat's appearance and shrill cry inspires foaming at the mouth hatred in many players due to its presence in many caves, and, crucially, Mount Moon, where in Generation 1 you cannot access repels before the cave, and are left to the mercy of dozens of Zubat encounters. Without any redeeming factors like an interesting ability or good stats, and the fact that its evolution can be found in the wild later on at higher levels, Zubat could be considered redundant. But surprisingly, I immediately found dozens of posts from people who are saying that they actively liked Zubat and enjoyed catching and using it. Some of those people said that they liked it because it evolves into Crobat, which kind of just sounds like they actually like Crobat, but I'm not here to question their enthusiasm. These people liked Zubat. If even Zubat could find a few ardent defenders, what possibility was there of finding a universally maligned Pokemon? I tried some others like Drowsy, which I personally think is awful, but I ran into the same problem of easily finding Drowsy enthusiasts. It was bizarre to me, but some people seem to genuinely like Drowsy. Power to them, I suppose? Enjoy the Drowsies? I decided to shift to what I thought would be easier to find examples. More modern Pokemon. Anytime a new generation is announced, there is no shortage of older fans who turn up and just start absolutely trashing the new Pokemon, almost by virtue of them not having been released in 1995. Maybe one of these Pokemon would have no defenders. I tried Cryogonal, which didn't have so many ardent defenders, but did have some fans for a set of reasons I haven't mentioned yet. Competitive use in different formats. While most VGC is focused on mainline formats with relatively few restrictions, a whole other set of players really like playing formats with a lot of different rules and restrictions, such as type combinations, stat ranges, and specific gens that are no longer the main meta. In these contexts, Pokemon that access different moves or have niche abilities can find a fandom of their own, despite not being loved by casual players. Most of the results I found while looking for Cryogonal fans were people lauding its use in different Smogon tiers. Admittedly, these were mostly the PU or NU tiers, which are lower down on the usage scale, but nonetheless, people liked Cryogonal for these formats. Another niche fanhood for otherwise disliked Pokemon are Nuzlockers and other challenge runners, who enjoy the variety and diversity that some otherwise underappreciated Pokemon might bring. I tried another tack, Ultra Beasts. I recall the contentious reception to Ultra Beasts when Sun and Moon came out, and remember how much some people disliked them for the fact that they were deliberately pretty wacky. Most of them have some defenders though, and many of them are quite good competitively, finding fans in that arena, barring one that I could see, Pheromosa. Few came to Pheromosa's strong defense when I was looking around, but I'm reluctant to declare any kind of victory on this. The second I post a video saying that Pheromosa, or any Pokemon for that matter, is the most despised, the comment section will just fill up with that Pokemon's most fervent fans. After more futile searching, I had come to a conclusion. There just can't be a universally hated Pokemon, and for a reason that had not occurred to me prior to beginning my search. Pokemon is just genuinely a relatively high quality series, and the vast majority of Pokemon designs are actually really good. The fact that they are means that for any given Pokemon, it's really not that difficult to find someone praising its design, or its lore, or something about it that to them justifies its existence. But this isn't a given. Pokemon easily could have been pumping out pure trash for years, and it would have been clear if they had in fact given up on looking after their core intellectual property. There have been a lot of clones and copycats in 3 decades, and few of them have succeeded while Pokemon has continued to grow. Despite what the most critical people might say, Pokemon actually is good, and does care about the quality of designs of Pokemon. Less so about the polish of the games as of late, but that's another discussion to be had. Another reason that I think there wouldn't be a universally despised Pokemon is just because so many of them are cute. Everyone else would be ganging up on a Pokemon, for example Sunkern, telling it how bad its base stats are, that it's just a dumb seed, it's useless, no one wants to use it, but there would still be a bunch of people who would respond, yeah, but it's cute, so I like it. Let me be clear, this is not a criticism. These Pokemon are cute, and that's a valid reason to like them. But there are a lot of otherwise unredeemed Pokemon who would have nothing if not for just being cute. I was going to throw out some examples of Pokemon that I thought might be close to universally hated or at least widely despised, but looking at the list, most Pokemon that might be considered were just kind of benign, like Silcoon and Cascoon. They're just placeholder Pokemon in their evolution chain, nothing to enjoy, but does anyone actually actively hate them? What is there to hate? There's not much to like, but I see nothing to hate either. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Do you have any contenders for a universally despised Pokemon? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps the channel out a ton and means you won't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.